Well, hello everyone, and this is Kim Morse, and I want to thank you so much for joining me again this Tuesday for my Togetherness Tuesday. As most of you know who follow me, I come on every Tuesday with some great tips and relationship advice. So please subscribe to the Sailing Happily Ever After page if you want to be notified of our upcoming broadcast. And today is really, really special because I am having my friend Annette Carpien joining us today. Hi, Annette.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm so delighted to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. Annette was one of my trainers when I was going through my coach training for coaching couples. And we have remained friends. We were actually even on a cruise together a couple of years ago. That was fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
So, Annette, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you love coaching couples, working with couples?
Well, it's part of my life purpose, I would say, to do what I can so that people have lives they love and love that is delightful, not hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's not, I so live in the possibility that every person who wants it can have love that thrives.
Yes.
And of course, we all are hopefully evolving human beings. And all the stuff that we have going on in our, from our past and the unresolved issues and all the stuff that gets in the way of love that really works, we can grow, we can thrive, we can let go of resentments, all of that stuff, all the stuff that gets in the way of love. And so I like to help people do that. I really do.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
Thank
you. Yeah, so what we were going to, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said go ahead. You started to say something, and I said to go ahead with what.
Oh, yeah. So my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 45th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I like to say that all of the methodologies that I use and the intentions and mindsets, I like to call them kitchen and bedroom tested. Meaning that these things really work.
Yeah.
They really work. Yeah. And you and I both know about radical marriage.
Yep.
So couples who, always are in the struggle stage. And the possibility is that they can get to a stage that is just so juicy and so wonderful. And my husband and I really, really experience that. So we're beyond the power struggle stages.
Why don't you tell everybody what that power struggle stage is? I'm not sure everybody, all the viewers would know what that looks like. What is a power struggle stage?
Mm-hmm. It's really you versus me. My needs are more important than your needs. Or you're supposed to be meeting my needs. And, each one of us have very important needs. And when it becomes me versus you, or my needs it could be for time, for help, for companionship, for support, all the things that we need. We all need, these are valid human needs, but we can't usually get them met. And so it becomes me versus you. And we only sit in our own world of my needs that are not met. And it's hard for us to step into the other person's world.
Yeah.
So I like to help people to look at things from a perspective of how can we both get our needs met? And sometimes it's not exactly possible in that particular time frame, in that particular scenario, but overall, to live in a we.
Yes.
So that I'm as focused on my spouse's needs and he's focused on my needs. And we talk things through and we make it work.
So it's really about that connection, right? Doing things in connection and not one versus the other. It's finding that connection where it works for both people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, this is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Oh yeah, it sounds simple, right? It sounds like easy breezy. But we know that that's not true. We know that couples struggle with this all the time. And that's where our passion comes in, right? Being able to help people through that power struggle. So what do you think is one of the biggest first steps that a couple can take to get out of that power struggle stage and into connection?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of possible answers. So one is just for one to say, I see that neither of us are really getting our needs met. And I really want you to be happy and get your needs met. And I want me too. I would love it if we could really work to make that happen instead of disconnecting or being angry or falling into the patterns that we usually fall into. And sometimes they need help to do that.
Absolutely.
But to hold the possibility that what they're experiencing doesn't have to stay that way, even if they have years and years and years of disconnection and anger and resentment. It doesn't mean that your past has to write your future. That's not easy. It's not easy to change that. But I like living in possibility and taking steps. And, a lot of the people I work with say, I can't believe how much I've grown and I feel better about myself having gone through, and, the possibility that both people can really grow. You can't do this without growing.
Right.
You have to take ownership.
Right.
You're part in it.
That is one of the...
Oh, wow. Yeah, to say, wow, I just saw that pattern that you've been telling me about for years and you've been really angry. Now I see it. Oh my gosh, I don't want to keep doing that. And I want to come up with a strategy with your support so I stop doing that.
That's a great point too. Asking for our partner's support when we notice something that we need to change, right? Our partner can be a great asset for us to help us to make that change. But I think one of the important points too, and see if you'll agree with me, is that we can't change our partner. And that's what so many people want to do when they get into that power struggle stage, is they want to change their partner. And what you were saying about the personal ownership and you taking that growth, when you get into that power struggle stage, I don't think that without that personal growth and taking that personal ownership, like you were just saying, that things are going to change, because you can't change your partner, right?
It's so funny because, let's try to count the number of times that we have successfully done that.
Right.
And it people defensive when they get the message you are not okay the way you are.
Right.
But that doesn't mean behavior. You can't ask for a behavior change. So, I might say to my husband, when you do this, it makes me feel like this. And then I get resistant, or I build up resentment. And then I can make a request. I would love it if you did this. So that's a basic formula. So it's not you, like blame.
Right.
It's when you do this, behave a certain way, it has an impact on me, and it doesn't bring out my best. Now, I could work so that I could be my best self even when you do that. Okay, I own that. That's a possibility too. But when you do this is, the impact, another kind of behavior. And often our spouses are less happy. They were happy. Sometimes they don't know how. We tell them what we don't like, but we don't tell them what we would.
Yeah. People do that all the time. They say what they don't like, but that really doesn't give our partner any idea whatsoever of what we do need. All we've told them is what we don't want. And I like to give the analogy with that sometimes about, if you're going to be going out to dinner and your partner says to you, where do you want to go? And you say, well, I don't want to go to McDonald's. Well, that doesn't tell them really much of anything, right? It only tells them one little snippet of what you don't want. And then they have to try and figure out what you do want. And it's so much easier just to tell them what you need, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a mindset. So you're asking for a behavior change, but you're not demanding it or expecting it. We have our needs, and our partner may or may not be able to at that moment, over time can support them in, and sometimes we may not get the response we want right away, but we plant seeds, especially when we make it emotionally safe for our spouse.
Yeah, that's a great.
Even if they do this much, like a slight change, if maybe that's the best they can do right now, but they didn't do this much, what do we usually focus on?
Yeah.
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 I appreciate your effort.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Instead of focusing it's such a great point. If we focus on what they have done, even if it's a tiny bit, that's a great point. Because like you said, everybody wants to focus on what didn't happen instead of the little bit of change that did happen. It's a great point, Annette. I love that. I love that.
And another piece of that is most people really want or crave appreciation and validation, noticing all the efforts we make. And so often we take each other for granted.
Yes.
And so just like my husband, the little things and the big things, I let him know how much I appreciate. And he loves hearing it. And I do it in a very juicy way too, which he really likes.
Yeah. Good for you. That's great. Well, I love this. I've absolutely loved this, Annette, and you've had some great points. And if our viewers want to get in touch with you, how would they be able to do that?
They can go to my website,
okay.
Great Relationships with an S, coaching.com.
Go ahead and click.
Or they can
Go ahead.
Yeah, and Annette at greatrelationshipscoaching.com.
Okay.
Or I'm going to give you the or my email, Annette, ANNETTE, at greatrelationshipscoaching.com.
I'm going to go ahead and
Can you tell me that you saw the Facebook Live video?
Yeah.
You would like help with. Yeah. Even just people's input would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be great. So, well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This was the first time I've done an interview. I think it went well. I enjoyed it very much. I'm sure my followers were too. My cockatoo back here is saying hello. She liked it too. So.
She's so beautiful.
Inside and hide her the whole time. But yeah, I know. So again, everyone, remember that I come on every Tuesday with relationship tips for my hashtag Togetherness Tuesday. Please subscribe to the Sailing Happily Ever After page. Please look for Annette, send her an email, give her some feedback. I'm sure she'd love to have it. And so Annette, thank you again so much. And until next week, everybody, keep keeping it together. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Annette.